BYDFi is a crypto exchange on desktop and mobile where you can spot trade, futures trade, as well as a free test account so you can practice futures trading without getting wrecked. BYDFi. Hello everybody, welcome back. So we're going to talk about oil. I just thought I'd talk about it. It looks pretty sweet to me for a really decent move. Back into the 70s, 80s, maybe 90s and new all-time highs. So obviously this would require some sort of futures, derivatives, leveraged position. You can't normally buy yourself a barrel of oil, but it's a chart with a setup which I think has got a relatively good chance of success. But don't overexpose yourself to it, and make sure that you employ good stop loss risk management. The reason I'm talking about oil isn't just because it's a good chart, it's just because Bitcoin is so slow in completing and continuing with its general direction, which is one so far just of a nice consolidation is all it is. I know some people think that this is horrendous. It's over. I hear it all the time. It's over. Is it over? It's finished. Well, for the moment it's just consolidating. It's actually quite neat and tidy. It's really nothing that scary, to be fair. It reminds me very much of this portion of the price action within 2020, really. Sorry, 2019 into 2020. So we had the initial run, then consolidation, and then basically sideways, despite the March crash, and then up. I think that's basically what we're looking at here. Up over a longer period of time, much longer. This bull market beginning took about 3 months. This took over a year. So consolidation is likely to take longer than you would like. And again, just to say that the view is that we will likely see 52, 53,000 get hit, and that could mark the bottom. And if it breaks down from there, we're going into the 40s, maybe the 30s. That's it. So I don't really want to have to say the same thing every day. There's not really much opportunity there for trading Bitcoin. It's just a slow, drawn out process. It's neither massively bullish nor massively bearish. It's in a formation, right? The thing about oil is at a significant discount, considering the new price of oil. That is, I know that oil went crazy. It went down to basically zero and went up to like 130. The most volatile thing you've ever seen. You want to talk about returns on crypto or something? You want to talk about returns on oil? That's what we're talking about. Oil is the new crypto, or was. So yeah, it's only fair. After a gazillion% increase, excuse me, for a consolidation to kick in. This consolidation is rough and ready, and with this rough and ready formation, we've got a rough guide. We broke out a little bit. We moved into the 83. We moved down to the 73, and now we're oversold. We're oversold as far as price action is concerned. If we do go lower than this, which I'd be very surprised at, we're talking like maybe 67, 66, which would be an absolute awesome position. Now I've started to layer into leveraged positions here, and with that I'm happy to layer in all the way down into 66. Below 66, if we do start seeing moves down to 63, I would be probably at that point willing to accept defeat. But until then, with the two drives currently baked in on the daily here of bullish divergence, it looks like we should be offering a retest into the mid to upper 70s, which is basically a death cross retest. Not that these golden crosses and death crosses actually refer to much on the chart. We've had a golden cross over here, which had continuation, where we slammed down into it. We had a death cross here, which broke above, destroying everything. So they're not really as useful as they ought to be. But what I would say is that they do still offer a counter move, just like the golden cross offered the counter move, and the death cross offered the counter move, and the death cross and the golden cross and the death cross. So we've got the death cross here, and we're looking for a counter move that takes you to roughly around 78 at the moment. And if we go down one more leg towards 66, then with that move should come another position. And again, I'm not saying this is going to happen overnight. I just feel like with the state of all the markets right now, obviously, if you're like me, you're short on indices because you're looking for a much bigger pullback. Crypto is difficult to short. It's probably not the greatest thing to short. Little tiny baby shorts is probably the only thing you want to do. It's such a volatile asset class. You just don't really want to get too deep into futures on it, really. and oil being volatile in itself. But looking at the state of the weekly and the daily, I think we are approaching a very significant area where we could be looking to bounce back up. And one last thing I was going to show you is that on the monthly, which is a much better looking chart, we have a really nice setup, and that highlighted area down towards 66 to 67, a 200 exponential moving average, which in this instance on the monthly has been respected to a really good extent. Big bounce up here, bang. Big bounce up here, bang. Front run here. We're coming back down to this kind of area, this vicinity. If we're going to get a big bounce, it should be taking place around here. That could launch us first of all to, we'll call it 73, 83, 93, and then maybe even new all-time highs. So brace yourself, because if this happens anyway, again, it'd be nice to be on the right side of a trade. I'd rather it be a different commodity or stock or anything rather than oil, because the implications of high oil prices are inflation, which means very unlikely to see rate cuts in the form of a massive oil rally, because obviously we're all going to be screwed once again with higher oil prices. It's higher food, higher cost of living, higher everything. Inflation, CPI rises with oil, basically. But for the moment, as it is down, the next CPI print to come through is likely to be, on point or lower than expected. Probably give an initial stimulus to all the other markets. But if we do start to bounce from here, I think my oil has marked the low, and it'd be nice to sail a position up in the face of rising in oil prices and inflation, and a chaos basically looming over we'll call it over the next year, basically. And at least we'll have a nice, tasty oil position to keep us warm if we can't afford to heat our homes. Right, that's basically it. There's nothing much more to say on it than that. If there are any other charts outside of, well, anything, right? If you've got a good chart that you want me to look at, obviously you could join the Patreon. We'd look at it there. We do twice a week live streams. That's basically what we do. But if you want to leave a comment in the description about a chart that you think is interesting, at least, then I'll be happy to make a video on it. I appreciate lots of chats are interesting, but if there's no setup there, if there's nothing really to talk about, I don't hesitate to make a video on it, because lots of people do watch these sort of videos and think that you're making a call, whereas really all you're doing is analysing a chart, really. It's not a signals group, it's just me digesting price action, really, out loud in the morning. Right, I'll leave it with you there. Nothing much more to say, but oil does look good to me, all the way down to 66, and with that, positions for me are being taken, incremental leveraged positions. Right, I'll leave it with you there. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.